And then like on the mic, the choreographer, and she's like a really big choreographer as well, and she's like, "What is this girl doing?" Okay.
She really?
Yeah, and because like, see, and honestly, I went back to my vanity, I started crying, okay, and I was just like, what am I doing?
Oh, honey.
Welcome to OHoney podcast,
Where you get the sticky and the sweet with Summer.
and Amanda and Jacqueline Fernandez.
I flew all the way down here for this,
She
guys.
flew all the way from Mumbai.
Yeah, all the way
How
just
long
for
of a
this.
flight is that?
It was like 24 hours. Yeah, it was.
It's
took
so
me
far.
like over a day.
Yeah,
But it actually is
like
an
it.
incredibly long. You just were in India.
Yeah.
It's a really long journey.
Yeah, I went
Yeah.
to Bali. It was like a day.
Oh no, that's even further. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went
Yeah.
to Bali and it was the longest flight ever. I literally felt like
Yeah.
I was late.
And
it
don't
was
you
like
feel like
3
if you go
days.
for a week, you're like, wait a minute, I traveled a week to get here, and
Yeah.
I'm here
I
for a
know.
week.
And
So-
you're just beating the jet lag at that point.
Yes,
too.
exactly.
Are you jet lagged?
No, I've actually, I got over my jet lag really fast. Like I somehow, but I did wake up yesterday at like 3 in the morning.
Oh.
So like I stuck it out till like midnight last night because I was like, I have to get off this jet lag. But I think
Yeah.
like the more you work out, like
It resets.
it kind of goes away. So
Yeah.
no, I'm good.
So that's your
I'm not
routine.
jet lagged.
And you fall asleep halfway through this
Yeah, I
podcast.
know.
I'm like,
So it's weird for me. Jet lag is never like in the beginning because I'm excited to be where I am, and then
Yes.
it like in
catches
the
up.
middle I'm like, okay,
You're like,
what
it
is
hits
happening?
you.
What is this feeling? No, like every time I go back to Mumbai though from the States, I get really, really badly jet lagged. Like, and I also go like straight into shoot. So like last year I was coming back from the States and we were in the States for like 3 years, 3 years, 3 weeks, 3 years, for 3 weeks. And then I go straight back into a shoot and I was saying my lines, okay, and they had it like on a prompter.
Yeah.
And as I was saying my lines, I fell asleep. It was the weirdest
Really?
thing that ever happened to me. And that's when I really discovered that jet lag is so
It's real.
real.
Yeah.
It's so real. Yeah.
And if you guys are wondering, Jacqueline is like the top Bollywood star. You are. You're massive.
crazy.
When I was in India, everywhere I just saw your face on billboards. I'm like, Jacqueline
yeah,
again.
and in case nobody also realized, or like I think we should tell them that we are, in Indian terms we're twins. We're the twins. Yeah,
we are twins.
We're sisters. Yeah, they think we're sisters.
Do you see it?
I think you guys do look alike. Well, when you guys post pictures together, I think you
Right.
guys
Yeah.
look alike.
It's funny,
But
like we
like
never
not
saw
like
it.
identical, but like
Even
Yeah,
like
similar.
before,
similar.
we had met up last year. Everyone used to like comment and be like, "Hey, you look like Amanda Cerny." By the way, I thought your name was Amanda Kearney.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Aw. That's my biggest fear.
Yes. You look like Amanda Kearney. So I was like, oh, right. And then we met up, and then like when we posted those pictures, it was like, oh, you guys are like sisters. You guys are like twins. So it's like, it's insane.
And they love it. I love it.
I know, it's
Every time
awesome.
every interview when I was in India was like, "How's Jacqueline? You guys are you're twins. You're twins." I was like, "Yeah," and we're working
Yeah.
on some projects together
Sisters,
too.
yeah.
Secret
so
little
cute.
projects. Yeah. And it's awesome. And you're such a hard worker. You come here every time she's in LA. She's doing dance classes,
God.
fitness classes, like coaching. Like
Yes.
you're always working on your craft too.
There's so much to do here as well. I mean, I do the same thing back home in India as well, but like over here, it's just nice to kind of get like a different perspective on like how people perceive acting, or how like they go about dancing, how they go about, and there's so many different new forms here. So we went for like a Tahitian dance class. Remember that?
Yeah. Last time she took me.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And that was hard.
Yeah.
Tahitian is
It's all
hard.
about like the hand movements.
Yeah, the
and-
hands were there,
Yeah.
and then, like it was just like the hips,
Yeah.
and like that was really tough. And then
Yeah.
like the squatting, and I hate squatting.
Yeah,
so,
I'm like,
the
ooh.
squatting and moving. So
It's all different muscle groups that you're
yeah.
working on there.
So we got to experiment with so many different like types of dance forms. And it's interesting because then you can kind of also bring it back, and you can kind of integrate it and make it something new and interesting to watch for people back home. So I have so much fun when I come here, learning stuff.
Your schedule when you're here though, it's like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I know, and it's like never for more than a week as well. I mean, except
Yeah.
for last year, I came
Yeah.
for a month because I was doing a course. So, but it's good though. At least we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, she fit us in, which
Thank
is
you.
great.
I know she like
you came
squeezed
just for
us
this,
in.
just
I
for
flew
this.
in for this.
How
What
could
are
I
you talking
forget?
about? Yeah.
But even when you're back in Mumbai, is it your schedule like this always too, or?
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
it more just when you're here?
Have been no. It's definitely a lot more in Mumbai. Like I've been in the film industry now over there for 10 years, and this has actually been like a very relaxing year for me. Like this is because usually I'm used to doing about 3 movies a year.
A lot.
And like when you're doing 3
Those are
movies
long
a year,
movies, too.
you're also releasing 3 movies a year. So you're also promoting those movies. And then in between that, like we do a lot of brand work. So we endorse a lot of products. So we're doing that. And on top of that, we also do a lot of shows. So we dance and, you know, sing and we do like a bunch of stuff. And a lot of the times, like we're doing like 3 of those in one day.
Yeah.
And it's insane. So I'm really used to that. So this year I've kind of just been prepping for one film which I start next month, and nothing else. And it feels like really weird to me. Like I get anxiety. I'm like, why am I not working and running around and being stressed all the time? Like why am I not doing that? So it's a relatively like relaxed year for me. But
which probably stresses you out.
It stresses me out
even
even more.
Yeah.
I just want to be like working all the time. But you know, at the same time as well, like I think in our field, as an artist, you sometimes do have to take like a little step back, and it just kind of also helps with your creativity a little bit.
Like sometimes you get like writer's block, but I feel like that's in every type of
So it's like, and there's a balance, right? You can't like be too laid back. You can't just be like relaxing every day and being on holidays every day either. You have to kind of also be able to balance that, like, you know. So I'm kind of learning that right now this year.
Finding that balance. Well, you're doing a lot of meditation, right? That's like new for you.
So I heavily got into meditation this year, and it's been so in LA, so the meditation that I do, which was taught by Yogananda, he was the first yogi to come to America and teach yoga and meditation. So he has been buried here in LA. His
really?
Yeah, it's here. So I'm actually going to go visit that because it was funny. So I go to a center. It's Paramhansa Yogananda's center over there.
This is like another language.
I know, right? You're like,
I know, we're like,
yes. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the one. Ashtanga.
Yeah. Got it. And give me the cliff notes.
So, and they were like, oh, you're going to LA, and that's incredible. You're going to be in his burial like city, and like you have to go visit it. So I'm planning to schedule it, and it's in Glendale.
Oh.
Yeah, is that far?
No.
That's in Glendale. We're like, oh, that's a word I understand.
Yeah.
Like,
we know that.
You're like, oh,
Glendale. Because it sounds so magical and everything when you're speaking about it, but then you said it's in Glendale.
And we're like,
oh, Glendale.
okay, it's in Glendale. Okay.
Yeah. Not too far from here. No, it's close.
Yeah, so it's been amazing though. Like I've always wanted to do meditation, but it's like something I never got myself, like round to doing. And since I've started it though, like I've been doing it morning and evenings. Yeah. And I also, Amanda.
Sorry, that was.
Is that your phone?
That wasn't me.
The hell, Amanda. By the way, this girl is never unprofessional. She has impressed all of my friends back home. Like when she came to India, they were like, so everyone was like, who I've worked with has, worked with her when she came to Mumbai, and they're like, we cannot believe how much this girl works. We cannot believe, like, we're like, we thought you worked a lot, or people like in the film industry worked a lot, but like, she came in here and you hardly slept.
No.
Forget sleep, you hardly ate.
This is Johannes. Johannes!
No,
he ran away.
Amanda's name is AC.
Yeah, but he has
I thought it was the AC.
You're now connected to AC. We do need some AC.
Let's unplug her.
That's so funny. How your name is.
You're like, she's so professional. Boop, boop, boop,
now connected to AC.
Now connected to AC.
Like,
I'm
not
over
even
here
stopping.
sweating. I'm like twitching.
Perfect. I am professional. But she's like, I mean, seriously, it was amazing. She hadn't slept. She hadn't eaten. She performed. She learned a Hindi song.
When she told me that she had to like an 8-minute song, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, you helped me with that, by the way. Because I saw her one of the nights before we went to Bollywood premiere.
Yes, we went to a film.
Yeah, and then, so we went to the film, and then I was showing her, I was like, is it normal?
Yeah.
I have to do
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to sort this out for you.
Yeah. I was like, they want me to do 8 minutes of dancing.
I was like, we do 8 minutes. Okay, so usually like the track goes on for about 8 minutes. It's the usual time for like a live performance.
Yeah.
I was like, but I do 8 minutes. And I was like, and let me tell you how I do 8 minutes. Okay, I was
Yeah.
like, the first minute is just my entrance. Okay.
Right.
And I was like,
slow
I
motion.
love
Yes.
the minute entrance.
the minute entrance,
Yeah,
right? It's like
yeah.
it takes a minute, okay, for me to enter.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's like all these things, like you do lifts, and then like you do a couple of like stage movements, so that like takes up about 4 minutes. Okay.
Right? Yeah.
So and then like you have probably like 3 or 4 chunks where you probably have to do like a little bit of choreography. So for me, because I've been doing it for so many years, that's how I understand it. I'm like, okay, I need to know this chunk, I need to know this chunk, and like that's it, you know, because I mean, first of all, for her, she's dancing on a Hindi song.
No idea what it's saying.
She has no idea what they're saying, and
Right.
that's not easy. Like because when I first came to the industry as well, I didn't speak the language. I didn't understand, you know, like I wasn't a dancer, you know. So for me, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I know how intimidating that is. And you're in front of a live audience. You guys
The
had like
audience
some
was insane. I'm like,
15,000
holy crap, there's so many.
people,
Yeah.
you know,
Lot.
that were there, and so it was crazy. I was like, no.
You helped me a lot with that though, like, because she helped me facilitate it, being like, all right, you got to tell them you need to do it, because it was straight choreography for
Yeah.
the like just
Like even I
movements.
wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like even I wouldn't do that.
With
I
like
wouldn't do.
2-3
Amanda,
days
without
of preparation.
you being there, she probably just been like, okay, 8
Yeah,
minutes
exactly.
like dancing.
She's like, yeah.
I
so
would have
I'm
died
doing-
out there.
Yeah, she showed me her choreography. I was like, no, you have 3 days to learn this. I was like, I would still take a week to learn my 8-minute act for anything, right? I
Yeah.
was like, you have 3 days.
Yeah.
I was like, you have 8 minutes of just dancing. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
Amanda's
she saved
just
my,
like,
she saved my
okay.
life. So and my performance.
Yeah, but it was
Thank God.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was so
No, I
beautiful.
know. I
Wasn't
mean,
it so
did you
cool?
see it in person?
No, I wasn't there, but I saw
Yeah.
the whole
Because I
video.
saw the videos and it's like insane. I was literally like memorized. I was like,
Yes,
Thank
right?
you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
It looked so good. I was so proud of my sister.
Yeah, you're like,
Sister.
my twin. Perform for me. Perform for me.
She killed it.
I was like, don't let me be the bad twin. Don't let me be the bad twin.
that's what she's thinking. She's like, I need to make Jacqueline proud.
Yeah, you
Just
did
trying
us
to
good.
impress my
You
twin out
did us
there.
good.
I'm happy it worked. But so you're from Sri Lanka, right?
Yes, yeah. I'm half Sri Lankan, half Malaysian.
Oh, it's
So how many languages
crazy
do you
combo.
speak?
I'm a bit of a disgrace, I think. I'm afraid.
Never
So
a
I would
disgrace.
think that your first language is English.
it is.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Because I'm like, you.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Bahrain.
okay.
In the Middle East, and so the only thing that we spoke at home was English. So my dad didn't speak Malay, my mom didn't speak Sri Lankan, you know what I mean? So it's like, so we all just conversed in English, and that's my first language. And yeah, and then after I did my high school in Bahrain, and then I went to Australia, where I did my degree in media and mass communications.
Is that how you met MTV host? Remember we met at Soho House?
An MTV host
Yeah, she used to.
in Australia?
She's from Australia. I don't know how.
Anusha.
Anusha.
No,
thank
no,
you.
no,
I'm
no,
like,
no.
why am
I know
blanking?
Anusha. I was like, who
Because
did I
she
meet?
was living in Australia before
I
too.
know. I was like, did I
Yeah.
just like totally blank her?
know,
Like,
right?
that
Do I
would
not
be terrible.
remember? Am I
We're on
horrible?
camera.
I know. I'm like, shit,
I know,
shit,
no,
shit.
I could see Amanda backtracking. She's like, no.
She's like, wait,
Let me help
maybe
you
you
out
didn't meet
here.
her.
Echo?
No, so I know Anusha from Mumbai.
Oh, okay.
She is Australian, but I know her, and I worked with her sister in a film as well.
Oh, okay. Which incredible woman, by the way. Like, I
Yes.
loved meeting her. I met her for the first time there.
She is amazing. She's
Yeah.
so cool, and she's done some great work. And so no, I did my mass media and communications, and then I went to Sri Lanka, and I worked on a TV station. And while I was in Sri Lanka, I joined Miss Sri Lanka.
That's right. She's a pageant girl.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and you
Yes.
won.
Yes, yeah, and I won Miss Sri Lanka, and then I came to LA to do Miss Universe. It was crazy, and I've always
know that.
Yes, it was in LA, and it was crazy because like usually like these Miss Universe pageants are like growing up. I've always I've been watching them since I was a kid, and they were always like Brazil, or they'd go to like some like Spain, or they'll go to like
yeah.
some or Australia or whatever it is, but it was never LA.
Yeah.
And I was most excited about that because
Yeah.
I've always wanted to come. It was my first trip to the States.
Oh, yeah?
It was my first trip ever.
That's
and
so awesome.
I was like
What was that
feeling
like?
at home.
Were you nervous? Like,
Well, it was quite nerve-wracking. I mean, it was crazy because there was like 80 of us girls, and all from different countries, and like I just remember being like just in awe like all the time, and just kind of like overwhelmed all the time, but having so much fun.
Yeah.
And then you kind of like made like a bunch of like friends and people. So my friends were like Miss UK, Miss Ireland. I had Miss US Virgin Islands.
Oh, awesome.
Like,
Love
yeah,
those.
they were, I mean, everyone was just like chilling and having a great time, and we really did have a great time. And then, of course, like there were, it was a great lesson for me because there were these other girls, group of girls as well, who were like, while we were rehearsing for like our on-stage set, they'd be like in the corner doing like sit-ups.
Oh, really?
And like, they'd be like, you know, and like while we're like really pigging out and like eating food, like they would be like removing like just the lettuce from like the sandwich and just eating the lettuce, and we were like, whoa.
You're like, are we doing this right?
I know. I was like, I had no idea. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I thought this was just like one big party.
I prefer your choice. Though.
Yeah,
I know. I want to kind of do what you were doing.
Yeah, no, we were literally having one big party over there. But no, I mean, see, again, it's like, it's about the balance, right? So it's like you, at the same time, like, I didn't realize it then, but like, because, you know, it's like you're kind of away from home, and you're in this new place, and you just
Sensory
get super
overload.
excited. Yeah. But at the same time, you're there for competition. And that was something that kind of like, I think helped me just going into, you know, an industry that's also very competitive. But then at the same time, like never also losing yourself, you know, being who you are, and like, you know, enjoying your life and not getting too hyper about things. And, you know, cause so that was like a great learning curve, I think, for me as well. I'll never forget that. And also just like my first trip to LA, it was just like, I was like, I want to come here one day.
So you were able to make, are you still friends with the girls that you met?
Well, you know, I'm still, okay, this is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
So the girl who won Miss Universe that year was Miss Puerto Rico, okay? And it's like, you know, like I was in touch with Miss, like I went to the US Virgin Islands the next year for New Year's, and I met up with Miss US Virgin Islands. Her name is Je t'aime, which means I love you in French. It's such a pretty name. I'll never forget that name. So like met up with her. Then there was like Miss Thailand also I met crazily enough like a couple of years ago in Cannes. And she's like, oh my God, you know, we were like in Miss Universe. Yeah. And the craziest thing is the girl who won Miss Puerto Rico, the girl who won Miss Universe was Miss Puerto Rico. And she was in Despacito, the music video. That was her.
Oh, that's awesome.
never seen the
Massive
music
video.
Oh, you have to see it.
Yeah,
she's
it's
so
so
beautiful.
good.
She's stunning. And like I was like, I've always like, oh, this girl, like, you know, so pretty. And then 2 years later, it was weird what happened to me. I was like sitting down somewhere, and I was like, the girl in Despacito
You realized
was Miss Puerto Rico, who was in Miss Universe.
it all clicked.
It's like it all
It
comes
was
together.
weird.
The puddles.
It was weird how that happened. And I went online, I was like, watched it again, and I was just like, and then I Googled it, and it's like, it was the girl in Despacito. So
That's
it's a small
awesome.
world.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
It really is. Well, that's great though. Literally every country that you go to,
yes,
you have a friend there.
You have a friend, yeah, and it's great. It's
Or
a
most
great,
of them, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever, like, because there's so many girls as well, 80 girls, that
Yeah.
you couldn't befriend all of them.
Yeah.
But whoever I did, or I roomed with, or that we partied with and stuff, like, I know that they're just a phone call away, an email away. Yeah.
Hey honeybees, our sponsor today is Function of Beauty.
We all know the frustration. Bottles on bottles piling up in your bathroom, each one falsely promising a miracle solution. What if it didn't need to be this way though? What if there was just one shampoo that could truly do it all? Function of Beauty individually formulates every bottle just for you based on your hair type, hair goals, and whatever you like. For me, I don't want my hair to be all tangled up and get all frizzy. With Function of Beauty, all of my hair dreams have been solved. I got a formula custom made just for me, and it helped keep the frizz away, and it smells like delicious pineapple.
Hello, luscious locks of love.
You select your color and fragrance, or opt for dye-free and fragrance-free, which is what I did. The sad reality is most major drugstore brands test on animals. Function of Beauty is 100% vegan and cruelty-free, which makes me love the brand even more. I mean, outside from it making my hair stronger and longer.
We want our OHoney listeners to receive 20% off your first custom formula. As you know, we love giving our honeybees the hookup.
To claim, go to functionofbeauty.com/OHoney right now and take the quick 2-minute hair profile quiz to design your 100% unique shampoo and conditioner formulas.
Again, go to functionofbeauty.com/OHoney now to redeem 20% off your first order at functionofbeauty.com/OHoney.
That is functionofbeauty.com/OHoney.
Again, OHoney.
Would you say it was ever a bit catty, like being around so many girls, or was it like kind of?
No, it wasn't catty. Like it was competitive.
Yeah.
It was competitive.
As it should be though, because
Yes.
it's a competition.
Like there were girls who were very, very zoned in. So they were
Yeah.
like not even there to make friends. They were not even there to like tolerate or, any of like kind
like
of.
a boxing match.
It was. They were
Yeah.
just like in one corner, like doing
Yeah,
sit-ups and
getting massage.
Doing
sit-ups.
Yeah. So it was like, and like a lot of girls as well, because you're away from home and there's like a lot of pressure. So there was like a girl that I was rooming with as well, and she was like crying every night on the phone. Like she was missing home and she was like, oh, there's so much pressure. And, so it does get quite like intense. Yeah. These are just learning, these are just lessons in life, and they're good to kind of observe. I was happy that I kind of observed it right from the beginning, and I was able to see that, and, so it just kind of, it was a good lesson.
I feel like
It wasn't catty though. It wasn't,
Well,
girls.
That's what people automatically think.
I
They're
know.
like,
Yeah,
You
they're
get
pulling
a
hair
big
back
bunch
there.
of girls together,
Yeah.
like all competing against each
Yeah.
other. They're like sabotaging each other.
Oh my God, yeah.
All
like,
the
that's
movies.
A movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
like movies we've seen. Like
This congeniality.
Yeah.
Well, I used to compete
I love that film.
like bodybuilding when I was younger.
Ooh.
So not like super big bodybuilding, just like
Amazing.
bikini, because there's different levels.
Yes.
So it's like the lowest level bikini. And I did that from when I was 16 to 18.
Wow.
And it's just the same type of thing. Like you get the girls that you want to be your friend, and me, I'm friendly and I want to be friends.
Yes.
So you get the girls.
Yeah,
and
you
then there's
attract
girls that won't even look at you, and
Yeah.
it's not even that they're mean to you. It's just that
Exactly.
they're not even putting themselves in a position to be your friend.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know. So it's
and
like
I've
I
seen
made
that. Like I've
friends
even seen that in my industry, and I was glad that I was able to see that in like the beauty pageant world first, because like also when I came into the industry, like there were like some girls, and I was just like, oh no, they're not talking to me. Why are they so mean? Like, and like these would be like girls maybe that I'd be even like working with in the same film. Like, wait a minute, shouldn't we like
be friends?
like one big happy
Yeah.
family?
Yeah.
But then it's like I came to understand that like there are girls who are there to just work.
Yeah.
And you've got to like also respect that and appreciate that, and it's great. And then like whoever you want to be friendly with, you will attract those kind of like people as well.
Yeah.
And like, you will be able to do that for yourself as well. But there are other people out there who just kind of, but I mean,
They want to get it done and then
just
move
like
on.
kind of like move on. And
I think it's like different personalities, because I have a personality where
but
I
were
want to be
people
friends.
like sabotaging? I mean, like bodybuilding is quite competitive. My
There's a lot
my
of-
brother competed for 3 years in Australia at bodybuilding.
Oh, yeah.
Like nationals.
See, this is different from pageants, because pageants is about so many different layers that you're doing. It's not just about looks. Like you don't talk, you don't do anything. It's not about talent. You don't do anything. It's literally how you look, and you work so hard to get there.
Amazing.
So it's like for me, like I would kind of be like about girls that have like fake butts or something, because that's the biggest muscle to work out. Like
Wait,
that's the biggest cheating.
Please
Like,
teach me something
yeah.
for glutes. I hate doing glutes. Like,
oh, yeah, I got you.
Please, I
got
need some
you for
tips.
sure.
But so in the competitions though, you're not allowed to have fake butts, are you?
So the
Yeah,
thing
that's interesting.
is that I think that the judges probably know you get marked down. Like no one that has a fake butt, I don't think wins. But there's definitely
Wow.
girls,
Yeah, you
and probably
can.
nowadays, because that was like years ago. Now like fake butts are in now that it's probably more. But
Yeah.
it's just hard because you work so hard.
Absolutely,
like,
right?
Literally, you're working out, dieting. Like when you're the day of, 2 days before, you can't drink any water.
There's no
it's
water.
Like the
I know.
most healthy sport ever. It's
I
like
know.
so bad
but
for
it's
you.
a true test though. It's a true test of like your discipline.
Yeah, and I was doing this at 16. It
it's
taught
more
me
a
so
mental
much.
Yeah, it is.
strength
I mean,
kind
I
of
saw
thing.
what my brother went through, because we came for one of his competitions, and it was like 3 days before, and I remember like it was insane. He had a cupboard, like in his kitchen, and it was full of sweets and like
really?
like stuff, and like so
For afterwards.
yeah, and like so what he would do is, because it's like like you have to eat certain things. You have to weigh everything that you're eating. Then again, it's like, and it's the same food like every single day. And it's like, that goes on for like 4 months. And then you get into like the major kind of like week right before, and then there's no water, and then there's this, and then, and
with the no water, you're on diuretics. It's like, how do people not die?
Yeah,
I'm like surprised I didn't die.
Yeah. So I'm just like, why are you doing this to yourself? But then I was like, wait a minute, like, you know, like, it's like I fast every single year for Lent, okay, right before Easter, so I do 40 days of it. So like I took out everything, like I took out like coffee, I took out like sugar, I took out like, you know, like pretty much like everything that's in like my food groups, and no alcohol, no this, and not that I drink that much, but and like it's crazy because like you have to also be very aware of what you're very attached to, and we're very attached to food, you know, because we get it on a daily basis, and it's like it's just, you know, it's just there all the time, and so you have to
addicting in its own.
Dude, I had like a mental, I like a eating disorder kind of from it, because I did it for that 16 to 18. I was so young when I was doing it too, and like like a protein bar was like a cheat meal. Like nowadays, a protein bar is like a healthy snack. You know? Like,
exactly.
So literally, like I would go places with friends, and like they would leave food on their plate, and in my head, I'm like internalizing it, like, oh my god, how could you leave that? Like I'm staring at the food, I'm like, oh my god, please let me eat that. And you like are jealous of everyone around you because they get to eat, and it's like crazy, like mind, like. And then when you're done and you're like normal, and then food's normal again to you. But when it's not like that, it's insane. Like I went through it. Hard.
No, that is
when I would
tough.
go, after my competition, I would go and I would eat so much that I would throw up. That's how bad.
Well, you know, the craziest thing is, like, my brother, like, did, like, so right after the competition, we obviously, like, went out for this big meal. Yeah. And he, like, I have never seen anyone eat that much. And I was like, wait a minute. And then, like, we finished this huge Thai meal, okay? And then he was like, let's go get McDonald's. And I was like,
no, like it's insane.
It's impressive.
Like, it's really intense.
But in like 3 days, he put on like.
Oh yeah, because
that's what makes it
like so much like a yo-yo. Because what it is, it's so bad for your body to get so skinny, and then so it's like a lot of girls who compete, they're fat on their off season, like really big, and then they have to lose 50 pounds, like crazy. It's like, because it's yo-yo, it's so bad for your body. You're going to 2 different extremes. So that's why I just don't want to do it anymore. I just want to be a healthy weight, eat moderation, like.
And like also if you can like teach girls or teach people that, you know, you may be in this competition, it's a great thing that you're doing for your mental game and like, you know, whatever it is, and like,
discipline.
And discipline, and it's fantastic, but you've got to also understand that this is, I mean, you know, there's so many things that you have to also like, I mean, when it comes to like eating disorders, or when it comes to like getting obsessed. You know,
I got like way too obsessed with it. It was like my whole entire life, nothing else mattered. Like it was like everything to me. It was like insane.
It does get like, I mean, like obsessive. Like he was like that as well. And so it is kind of like, it's a great kind of discipline to have. But at the same time, it's like
a dangerous one too.
I know, it's a dangerous one.
And it's like such a sad way to get compared to people. Like it's like you're compared just by your looks alone. Like pageants, you're compared in different ways.
So that's like, that kind of conflicts me as well sometimes, where I'm just like, you know what, like I've thought about that like a lot after I got into pageants. Like, why was I so obsessed with pageants as a little girl? Like, why did I always want to be in this, like, in a pageant and be crowned? And you know what I mean? Like, what was this obsession? Like, why do we crave that, right? And then I felt sad later, because I was like, I did see some of the girls like very like in distress. Like I saw like, you know, girls fainting, and then I saw like who were probably over dieting, and then I saw like, you know, girls crying all the time, and like just, and I was like, why are we doing this? Like, what are we competing for?
Why are we like,
I mean?
mentally like,
and especially how it comes off for the people watching it, like
exactly. And there's some places where like the countries like are huge on pageantry, so that girl is put under so much pressure to be the most beautiful.
You better win for our country.
And it's just like for the country.
The whole country hates her. It's like, you're not pretty enough. Next.
And the little girls watching too are like, yep, that's what pretty is. You know,
exactly.
Got it like
and
that
like,
extreme.
So I mean, like I honestly think like these pageants, like when in retrospect now, it's like they should definitely come with some kind
disclaimer?
of like even like, or like some kind of like therapy, you know what I mean? There should be like some consultant on board, because like this it's a little bit of a warped idea. You know what I mean? Like I like the idea of the bikini round, and like everyone was like, oh, why do we have a bikini round? You're being judged on your body. I was like, no. I was like, that's a discipline. If you can keep your body like healthy and fit, but like instead of like just the bikini round, I was like discussing this with Priyanka also, like 'cause she was a pageant winner, she won for India. And I was like, instead of like you just coming out in this bikini, and it's great because it is a great kind of like understanding of like, okay, this girl keeps herself fit and keeps herself well and healthy, but like I wish like they put more challenges, like fitness challenges, because
you actually have to like work out.
it's not about being skinny, right? It's not about that. Like that's not pretty. Like there's like so many different forms, and people are like born in so many different ways. But like, how fit are you? How strong are you?
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like
combining these two worlds of the.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah, because you can't like compete.
We're excited.
You can't compete in the body world without working out. You have to work out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a great thing. It's a great discipline to have. Like I would like advise. I mean, you know. So, yeah, like that would be something. In retrospect, I'd be like, I hope that they kind of like change that about it.
Yeah, the summary for us for pageants would be to combine the strength and health and wellness. Health and wellness.
That's what it should be about.
Yeah.
Right?
Not about like starving and passing out and fainting.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
And then it'd be great.
Yes, it should be that. I mean, because that I think breeds so much positivity as well, and that's what the pageant should be about.
And it's like shows hardworking, because anyone can starve themselves and not eat. And like, you know, like
exactly.
You have to actually work hard.
Yeah, and there should be like tests of like how real can you be, like how true to yourself can you be. Like it's not about like rehearsed answers and you know like all that stuff. It's just about like how can you kind of like as a as a person, like how I think like it should kind of like change.
Totally agree.
Bit. Like that would be great. I mean that's the example that you're setting to little girls, because I was one of them, right? So you in a way kind of as well with bodybuilding and everything. So it's an important message.
And the whole beauty thing, because it's like we always talk about beauty is in the high up the holder. So it's like who says who's prettier?
Yes.
Because everyone thinks different things are pretty.
I think that's what the struggle the pageant would have is how do you weigh which person is like the best? Because what would the criteria? I guess it would be who's the youest.
Yes, exactly.
Who's the truest youest?
Who's the truest? Truest.
Dr. Seuss pageant now. Who's the truest youest? But I really like the fact, like going back to meditation. How has that helped you with like your relationships, and because you've been doing it for?
So I have probably been like, I've been reading up on it for like the past like couple of months, and it's really strange, like because like. I really do believe in like attraction and the law of it and stuff and the universe, but like what I was in my belief in it before wasn't as strong as it kind of like was fading. It was very strong in the beginning, and it was crazy because like I kind of felt like when I first also got into the industry, and I was just like this fresh new person, like my power or my belief in the universe and what you attract like just comes to you. It was so strong, and it was crazy because it worked for me every single time.
Yeah, it's great. Same.
I never used to even think about things, but I knew like deep down inside I wanted something, but I'm like, it's okay, it'll come. And I would do my and it's really crazy, and I would do my own thing, and then it was like things would just like come to me, like films and this and that,
but with work put in too, like
obviously that you have to work. I mean, like the universe also understands when you're being lazy.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like kind of like when you're working for something every day, and you are putting in the hard work, but at the same time you're not like being sad about not getting something. You're like, it's okay, it'll come. I'm gonna go along my day right now as if it's already there.
Just like being positive.
Yeah, you just be positive, and it's just like, I'm doing my workout right now because I already have everything I want. I have that film, I have this, I have a great life, and you continue in that routine, and like psychologically you're like, it's already there, and so you're in a much better state as well. So I was always in that state where I was never worried. I was like, things are always gonna come, and it's crazy, but like the more successful I became, the more and more I would forget about that sense of like I have everything and it's okay, and it started becoming like I don't have that much. Oh, like it was strange how it kind of like changed, and I was like, I need more, or oh my God, like like there was stress all of a sudden and anxiety, and it was like, but I had way more than what I even thought I could have like in the beginning. Yeah. But then you kind of like start, I think, like forgetting and like losing, losing yourself a little bit because there's so much like work, and then you do end up wanting more. It's never enough. And that was an important lesson. And like this past year, I've been in retrospect, and I'm like, wait a minute, like who was that girl? Who was that girl before? You know, I need to get in touch with that, you know, with that person. And I was like, and all these like books, I started reading up on a lot of things, and it's crazy, but like every single book was like, you have to start meditating. You have to start meditating. You have to start. And I was just like, why is it telling me to meditate? Like, why are all these books talking about meditation, meditation, meditation? But like, then I started like getting into Yogananda, and I went for the course, and I started like learning the actual like it was crazy, but like the details of it and how like the science of it. And you can't even argue with it, because it's so true, and it's like it's so black and white. And we are made of energy. So, and like the more you meditate, the more you're getting in touch with that energy. And we're so blocked right now because we're so distracted.
Yeah.
We're so distracted by so many things. Like we're distracted by our phone. Like every 2 seconds, we're doing something. Right. Or we're on our phone, or we're on our WhatsApp, or we're on our, you know, we're watching something, or we're talking, or we're working, or whatever it is, but we're never really like with ourselves. And yoga just kind of like, I mean, meditation and yoga kind of just helps you zone into that. And meditation more, because that's all you have to do. You have to be in a complete state of relaxation, and it clears up so many energies. So for me, like it's been crazy. Like ever since I've started it, like things have just become like calmer.
Yeah.
And
no, you feel very like peaceful. Every time I'm around you, I'm just like,
See, me, I'm the exact opposite. Anytime I've tried to meditate, I'm like, okay, don't think of anything. Okay, don't think. Okay, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not thinking of anything. I'm like, okay, but I am thinking of something.
Yeah.
I'm like, help her.
You're stressing me right now.
Like,
She starts meditating. We're like, Jacqueline.
She's like, I need to go to my happy place because y'all are.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah,
so
exactly.
what's the trick to that? Like,
so I mean, basically meditation.
Like
there's a couple. Yeah, it is a muscle. It is a muscle that you kind of. So what spiritually we would call the third eye. Over here, that's actually your prefrontal cortex. So that's like a muscle that never ever gets stimulated, because we now operate on a fight or flight, muscle in our brain, which is exactly what animals do. So it's almost like we're going back to being animalistic, because like if someone hits you, you'd react by either like getting angry and fighting back, or you'd react by like getting scared and like running, you know? Or if like you're hungry, you'd be like, oh, I'm hungry, I need to eat right now. You know, like you're not really thinking about like, wait, what am I eating? What am I doing? So it's like we've become very kind of like tuned to like being
survival. Almost.
Yeah, it's like but it's survival, but it's also like we're reacting way too fast.
Yeah.
We're not kind of like, and so that like your prefrontal is actually something that helps you reflect and makes you like, it gives you a choice. That's something that animals don't have, right? So it's like, wait, I have a choice to not react. I have a choice to like be calm about this. I have a choice to make, you know, like better choices, you know? So it's like, so we don't exercise this, and it's actually a muscle that needs to be exercised, and it needs to be taken care of. And, you know, so, and a lot of people are like doing biohacking right now. So, okay.
You know when you say something weird to a dog and they do, this is me and Amanda.
Both of you were like, I was like, biohacking? Have you guys not heard of like
no.
biohacking?
Is it like, what is that?
Okay, well.
I hope we're not
alone. Heard of biohacking? Wait a minute.
Knows.
Okay, so.
But you're about to educate a lot of people, so let's get it.
That's crazy. Like, I actually thought that like people, especially like, cause it's quite known in like the States right now. And
all right,
like,
Jacqueline, don't rub it in
well,
even more.
You guys should know.
You guys don't know this. Whoa.
So it's crazy because like in India, like for us, like we would probably naturally be biohacking because like we would be meditating and doing yoga. But it's like, so there was, so biohacking is when you actually like look at, internally what you could be doing to make yourself like superhuman or super efficient, or
why haven't we known about biohacking?
Exactly. Trust me, when I first learned about biohacking, I was like, wait a minute, I could be a superhuman. But you know, the crazy thing is that's your natural state. We are superhumans. Like we have literally like if you read about like sapiens and stuff, like we have like wiped out an entire race of humans, as sapiens, because we're like the intelligent race, and we've like survived on this planet for like millions of years. So our natural state is we were telepathic. You know, it's like all of these crazy like things, right?
Yeah.
We've lost it, right? Because we
want it back.
We want it back, right?
Yeah.
So there's certain places where you kind of like see people in the States. So if you look at like extreme sport, it's like athletes, right? These people are like jumping off like mountains that are like super like big, and like what's making them do that? What's making them fly? What's making like a musician like create music out of nowhere?
Yeah.
You know, like and go into like a trance.
Or naturally know like.
So they're well, I mean, like the front part of their brain, like their prefrontal cortex is highly stimulated, and they can go into certain brain waves like that we are not tapping into. So there's like a super high brain wave called theta, which like we can tap into, okay, but we're not exercising enough. So you have to, so
How
stuff.
do we exercise?
So, okay.
Yeah, like I want
do we do this?
Yeah, I want that.
It's like, I'll help you grow the booty, you help me grow the booty.
Yeah, exactly. I just want a booty.
And I'll just be here.
Absorbing everything.
Yeah. Hey honeybees, we have a sweet message from one of our sponsors, Audible.
Listening makes us smarter, more connected to people. It makes us better partners, parents, and leaders. And there's no better place to start listening than Audible.
Audible is where so many inspiring voices and compelling stories open listeners up to new experiences and ways of thinking.
Audible members now get more than ever before.
Membership includes 1 free audiobook a month, exclusive sales, and 30% off all regularly priced audiobooks.
Audible content includes an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original audio shows, news, comedy, and more from leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, entertainers, magazine and newspaper publishers, and business information providers.
Download and listen on iOS device, Android, Amazon Fire tablets, Windows Phone. Audible works across devices. My favorite audiobook listen is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Mine is You Are a Badass.
You are a badass. I see why.
Start listening with a 30-day Audible trial, and your first audiobook plus 2 Audible originals are free. Visit audible.com/honey or text honey to 500-500.
Audible.com/honey, HONEY, or text honey to 500-500.
Audible.com/honey or text honey to 500-500.
Now there's like technology is helping out with a lot of it right now. So they've studied like extreme athletes and like how, so they call it the flow state. And when you're in flow, you're tapping into a brainwaves that's like literally, it is superhuman. It kind of like, it puts you in a state of extreme concentration, but at the same time, you're super calm. So you're like, it's almost like, it's
floating.
like, and it's like an out of body experience where like, a person who's like skiing off a mountain, okay, and about to do a huge jump, he's not panicking. He's not like stressing.
I'd be like, oh God. Okay.
Exactly, right? That would be your natural state because you're fight or flight, right? So this guy's going, okay, I got this. And I'm like, I'm super calm about it. But at the same time, he's calculating everything. And he's calculating it at a super fast like rate. So, I mean, like there's like a couple of things. There's a couple of like food, you know, items you could be eating that actually stimulate the brain cells. Fats are really good.
Are there some nuts that are really good? What nuts?
Yeah,
Walnuts?
so walnuts, almonds, like the walnuts look like brains.
Yes, we knew that.
Yes, go for the walnut.
Well, that's what we need on our set.
We need to get
Bring the walnuts over.
We have someone bring them on
Get
the platter.
flow, yeah. So if you start reading about flow, if you start reading about like, what's his name? Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. He's like the guy who kind of discovered flow. Then there's certain things, like there's like certain technology that you can use which stimulate, so they put sound waves, okay, you can listen to them and they stimulate your brain waves into going into that mode.
What Spotify playlist is it?
iTunes?
I have no idea. No, but there's apps. There's certain apps that you can get, and then like you just put your earphones on.
I've heard some. There's some apps that, like if you can't sleep, it's like little tiny little pitches like you can listen to that help. So you sleep.
Everything is like, I mean, like it's pretty much interlinked because sleep is one of them. Sleep is like a major thing that actually helps you get into like flow states and.
Didn't do that in India.
And there's like
didn't do that one.
I was not in the flow state. I was
crazy how there's like different levels of sleep, like different like you could be sleeping, but you're not hitting that like.
You're not hitting like, yeah, exactly. So there's like so many things like, so Dave Asprey is the guy who invented the bulletproof diet, and bulletproof, he's a biohacker, for example. So he's been hacking himself for like the past like 20 years.
I get it now.
Right? So
I
it's
get
like
biohacking now. It
so
makes,
you know
the
what I
term
mean?
makes sense.
So it's like you hack a computer and you understand all, it's like what works for it, what doesn't work for, how you can shut this down.
Let me charge this real quick.
So it's like we can hack ourselves and we can, so it's all about like energy levels. How are you working at your optimal? How are you like, you know, looking your best, feeling your best, you know? And there are like hacks to it. But like, so I've understood that, and all of these guys, all of them meditate because they understand that's like the most important thing.
Some of the most successful people do.
Yeah.
I hear about it all the time. Yeah. All my friends tell me that I need to do it and that I should do it. Like, I'm like, no, I don't meditate. They're like, you don't meditate.
I would
you
think Amanda of all people would meditate.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know, like when I was like even like discussing this, I was just like, wait a minute, Amanda must meditate. You are so zen.
Really?
Yeah. And
maybe it's, can you meditate through like working
True.
out, running?
You probably are doing it like at a level that's like not sitting down and crossing your legs and like, but you probably do connect with yourself at some place. So meditation is also like basically just being able to relax.
See,
you know?
that's what I have a problem with.
Yeah, exactly. So
So
sometimes people do that through music. Sometimes people do it through sport, or just, you know, getting into something that really kind of like stimulates them because like they're actually relaxed, even though like they're working at something.
Maybe that's me when I'm working out, because my blissfulest time is when I'm working out. Like,
amazing.
If I take a week off or something working out, I have so much anger. Like I'm freaking out on
Anxiety.
people. I'm like karate chopping. Don't talk to me. You know. Like, then when I work out, like I feel like I'm like betterly like balanced.
She hasn't been.
I know I can't work out because I have to get up so early. So like guys.
Oh really? What time are you guys been waking up?
We'll have to be here at like
6 a.m.
Whoa!
Just don't karate chop me. Just like we'll do some planks
and I need to
before and after.
But I do work out when I get home. So
maybe if like not working, instead of that, give yourself like 15-20 minutes of just like, you know, a little bit of like meditation where you're just zoning in. And the first week is gonna be terrible. Like, because for me as well, like the first week I was just like, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this.
I'm just thinking about not thinking of anything.
What's the setting though that you have to be in?
You have to create a good environment for it.
Yeah.
You have to create, I mean, so like they do advise kind of like creating like a little like ashram altar for yourself. So like if you want like, your incense sticks, if you want like a guru or someone that you follow, or it could be anything, it could be stone, or even if you don't want that, you don't have to.
Can you just like be on your bed?
Yeah, you could totally be on your bed.
Yeah.
But it's like if you kind of like create that environment for yourself, so if that's like the place you meditate, like it helps you kind of like get back into it.
That's why sleep's so important too.
It is.
Because you're like
and meditating like right before you sleep as well.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it is so important.
That's doable.
It is great. Yeah, you wake up differently. You have better dreams.
I never remember my
I
dreams.
might be doing that.
I remember mine.
Because I wear an LED face mask at night.
I have one too.
Yeah, they're great.
I know when I was up in her room, I was like, what is this?
Like,
I
it's
thought
my
they
LED
were
face
right? It's
mask.
like, yeah.
There was like one on her and Johannes' side of the bed. I'm like, oh yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
funny. That's so good for you.
Yeah.
So like that is also something that really helps with like
Because it's
brain
like
cells.
15-20 minutes on my face and it's heated and I'm like,
I didn't get me one of
that's
those,
my
guys.
meditation. I
Maybe
am
that will
meditating.
calm my head.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
get
like,
you one.
I come over one day, I'm like just super zen. I'm like, I got me a mask, guys.
An LED, and I meditated.
Well, we learned a lot about meditation.
Yes, I know. Felt like I was lecturing
I'm
you
gonna
guys
get more.
kind of.
No. I love it. I'm gonna hit you up about it all the time now. So be prepared. But also, I just want to dive into this really quick because I think it's so.
Yes.
Bless you. I think it's so interesting.
Is that a cough or a sneeze?
It was a cough that sounded like a sneeze.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, bless you. What is that?
Still.
Bless
I'm
you
like,
for your
thanks.
cough.
Blessed.
She's just blessing me today. Bless.
What was this? Oh, you're from Sri Lanka. So
Yes.
how difficult was that? How did you even Bollywood? What, like in Mumbai, like
I know,
because that's hard, right? Being a foreigner in a whole,
It was really like funny how that happened. Like I think it was probably destiny. I guess like also I was in like a good flow state where like I brought myself exactly to where I probably needed to be.
Yeah.
Because I always knew I wanted to be an actress. Like, it was something and when I went to college and stuff, I was like, okay, maybe if I don't become an actress, at least I'll be on like television and I'll be a broadcaster, or I'll be on the news, so that's why I went into journalism and broadcasting. And then it was strange, but like while I was in Sri Lanka, I was Miss Sri Lanka, and I was like, oh my God, like, how do I get to LA? Like, how do I get to LA and become an actress? Like, how do I do this? And I was like, okay, but let me like try and focus on what I have at hand, and it'll come when it needs to come. And at hand, I had like a great job. Like, I was, like working at news stations there and, on TV and stuff in Sri Lanka. And I was Miss Sri Lanka. And I was doing a function where like they had brought down all the Miss Indias, and I met like their representatives, and I met the entire company, and they're like, oh, you should try doing some work in India. And I was like, that's interesting. I was like, I never really thought about India, but I was like, yeah, I guess, like, let me see. It was so crazy. I come down to India, and literally within that first month, I did like a couple of like photo shoots, and then I did like a couple of like shows, like just like fashion shows, okay? And they at that time were casting for Jasmine, they were making the Hindi remake of Aladin.
Yeah.
And it just like everything happened just so fast. They're like, okay, we're casting for Jasmine, and I was like, wait a minute.
So perfect.
I was like, I don't speak Hindi.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was like, I've watched 3 Hindi films and in my life, and so they're like, it's okay, we'll figure it out, we have 5 months to shoot.
And you're like, all right.
I was like, I'm going to learn the language in 5 months. Okay.
You're lying.
I mean, that's like acting and stuff is hard enough, and then you like a different language. Like, what?
You're gonna have to teach me how you did that, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Actually, I was telling Lacey, I was like, get her to learn her Hindi.
Yeah.
Brush it up. So actually, in the beginning, though, you just do a lot of memorizing, which I know you're good at.
Yeah.
So, and I was just like it was almost like memorizing a song of like a different language that you like, and putting that into like your scene, and then understanding the emotion, of course, and then kind of like just using that. But like, so it became about that first in the beginning, and then like you just kind of like start picking it up because you're living there. And it was crazy because since that day, since I started shooting for Aladin, like a film came in the middle of that shoot, and then a film right after that, and I was just like, well, I guess I'm just gonna be a Bollywood actress.
That's so awesome.
But it was a lot of hard work as well. It was.
That's crazy. So
it was intense.
You don't even know what you're saying, so you have to act out what you're saying. You have no idea like how to.
Well, you're learning the translation, the tone, the like everything.
The dancing. So the dancing was something that was so difficult for me because it's a cultural thing, right? So like, Bollywood dancing isn't just Bollywood dancing. It brings in a lot of like classical, form as well.
Expressions too.
And I knew nothing about it, right? And like there's, like I still kind of almost struggle with it because it's like you've got to like also when you're singing, and you saw that, right? When you were dancing to it, you have to understand each and every single word. So like if we were singing something in English and we were like dancing to it, you automatically like react to what you're saying. And your body language is that. So it was like, now with this like song, what am I actually saying? What am I actually singing? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
how do you like
you know what I mean? Like, and on top of that,
it?
I have to do like a couple of like, like moves. And so, so it was like, I remember on my first shoot, so it was Aladin, and I'm working with one of the biggest superstars of India, Amitabh Bachchan, okay? He's like, I mean, he's so iconic, he's like a legend. And I was like, and he played the genie. So my first song, I had to, there was like 100 dancers, and it was like me and him, okay? And we literally had to do this walk, like a dance walk, okay? And that was it. So it was like probably like 4 beats. I didn't know how to do that walk. It's a very certain kind of walk. It's like the hand is on the hip, and you have to like walk a certain way, And I just couldn't get it, and she kept saying cut, and then like we had to go back to 1, and then like again action. I'd like do something weird, like, and then she's like cut, and then again like, and like I'm looking at Amit Ji, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like he doesn't need to be put through this, right? And then like on the mic, the choreographer, and she's like a really big choreographer as well, and she's like, what is this girl doing? Okay.
She really?
Yeah, and because like See, and honestly, I went back to my vanity. I started crying. Okay, and I was just like, what am I doing? And and yeah, but then I realized I was like, you know what? Out of so many girls, like I got this part, okay, in this film, and there are like way like there are so many girls who wanted a role like that, and you know, who've learned dance and worked hard, who know the language and have worked hard, who understand this, who've been following Bollywood. I was like, I'm so blessed. This kind of just like came to me, right? And I was like, no, I have to step up my game. Yeah.
But also it didn't just come to you because you were brought into it because of all the work that you did for the pageants, for those titles.
I did also travel, like, you know, like to a different country, you know what I mean? So it probably...
I see what you're saying, but also there is a lot of work behind
like
how you got put on the door.
That's true too.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Don't give yourself
But
credit.
I love the respect that you have for them and for the industry of wanting to put in the work and perfect things for them.
Yeah. I mean, I always think about that. I'm just like, you know what, we're blessed. You're blessed if you you have to put in the work, and it does come down to that. But there is someone, like, if you're gonna slack or if you're gonna play the blame game or you know, like or you know, anything like that, you've got to understand that there's someone who's gonna jump in there, like, you know, like, and who's dying to as well, and who wants it really badly. So so that was like my first experience, and after that I was just like, I learned like everything, like, you know, I was just like getting down to like everything, like my diction, my Hindi, my dancing. I trained in classical for like 5 months after that. I, you know, started learning everything that I needed to do to become a Bollywood actress.
I'm so impressed by you. Like, that's incredible. Like, it's so cool and inspiring. I'm sure there's like girls watching this that are just gonna be like, I can do anything. I work hard.
Like
she can do it. I can do it.
No, just like I have an audition later today, so I'm gonna nail that now.
Nail it. You can do it. You can do it. It's all about your confidence. Yeah.
Well, let's dive into our honey pot where we have fans that write in questions.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And if you guys want to write in questions, you can at diary@ohoneydiary.com. All right. So question number 2. Oh wait, 1.
Question number 1.
Redo. Yeah.
Because we're only going to do one question because
we haven't done number 1 yet, but just dive in there.
I can't
people
count.
are going to be like,
Yeah. All right. Question number 1. I'm not mainstream attractive, but I'm not terrible. However, so many of the girls in my town are really pretty. Looking at Instagram does not help. I've been considering getting some minor work done to make me more desirable so that I can even compete in the same league as these pretty girls in my town. I've been researching a lot of plastic surgery, facial fillers, etc. and have some money saved. I am 18 years old, so legally I'm allowed to do whatever on my own. Will this help my confidence and compete? Oh, typo on her. Will this help my confidence and make me be able to compete, to be pretty, or will it just leave me feeling empty? I am so sick of being just average looking when I see so much beauty in the world. What do you think I should do, Janet?
Wow, Janet.
It's all on.
That's really, I mean, first of all, I just want to let Janet know that it's so natural to feel that even the prettiest girls, and it's crazy.
Like the girls in the town are probably feeling that they're not pretty. Yeah.
The prettiest girls have like so many insecurities. It comes with what we have been used to as a society, and you know, it's something that's been ingrained in us right now, and unfortunately, you know, we have to kind of like beat it. So yeah, I would first of all say that she's not alone in this. Everyone goes through this. I've gone through this like so many times as a kid, as a teenager, until this day. But on this journey of kind of like also being in a very physical kind of industry where it's like, oh, you're judged for how you're looking, you're judged for like all of that stuff. Like, it's also taught me a lot of things about like what matters, like how do I see myself, and internalizing that a lot. So I would say that like these are options. You have options now. If you're looking at like changing things, that's, you know, it's totally fine. Everyone has a choice, and it's whatever makes them happy. But I would not go there. I would not go there till you are actually happy with yourself,
Yeah.
like, and who you are, and like you've done like a lot of gratitude, gratitude for actually being alive, for having 4 limbs, for just being a person who's not dying of starvation somewhere, or
any like health.
or
Like,
any
just being
like,
healthy.
being healthy, being able to do things with yourself, you know, like all of these things are great. Like you're not going to find confidence from it though. It's
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying. Like you're gonna find something else you don't like.
Yeah, you can go do these things, but you're not going to like find any confidence from it. And confidence, like a lot of confidence comes more. Like otherwise, then why would pretty girls be insecure?
Right.
Why would they still have
Doesn't
boyfriend
come from-
issues or be insecure?
Yeah.
Confidence, like to me, honestly, it comes from
Inside.
it comes from inside. It comes from a skill set. And you know, I mean, like it's not like it doesn't need to be an obvious skill set, but it's something that like it's being able to like find your purpose.
Yeah.
And I would say go on that journey now, you know, because you're still young and that's amazing.
Another thing is like wait it out a little bit. Like maybe you don't know you don't like it, because there was things that like when I was younger I thought I didn't like about myself, and now that I'm older I'm like, I love that about
thank
myself.
God I didn't do that.
Like, thank God.
Yeah, like, honestly, like some of those things, and it's amazing because some of those things actually become huge strengths. We don't even realize it, right? Because we're so critical all the time. That's all we see, that's all we have. But it's like some of these things you don't even know become your strengths, and like they become your strengths as well, I feel like, when you just don't give a damn about them anymore, you know? So yeah, I would just say kind of like before getting into all of that, go on a journey of self-discovery, understand what it is you want in life, understand what makes you happy, like really happy.
Yeah, because being beautiful doesn't make you happy.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It really is nothing.
It doesn't.
I like how you didn't close off the idea for her if she
Yeah,
down
she
the
can
line.
explore that. I mean,
Yeah.
like she can explore that when she wants to, but you've got to come from, and before you can jump into those things, because I've seen so many young girls jump into that kind of stuff, and honestly, like I've seen it become, like if you look at some of the girls who've just gone overboard or have like no more, like
no expression.
No character. Like they lose their character.
They've completely lost like perspective on themselves and how they look and all that stuff. And you don't want to be one of those girls, right?
Yeah.
You want to know exactly who you are, and like you're a confident girl, you're confident with or without this stuff. Then when you go into it, you're like, yeah, I know exactly what I want. And I'm good with that, and that's like fine, and I'm good with even without it. But like this is kind of what I want right now, you know. And so yeah, but I would love if she kind of just went on this journey of like kind of discovery, and you never know, like I mean, where that would even take you. Instead of jumping into like stuff like this is too superficial.
Yeah.
It won't.
And sometimes, like, just on the superficial side, like, sometimes your things that you hate about yourself is what makes you absolutely unique, and other people love
and
you
so
for.
stunning to other people. Like
Even the girl
Absolutely.
from Dirty Dancing.
Yes,
With
exactly.
with her nose, she got her nose job, and after it wasn't unique anymore. It was like
Yep.
every other
and
nose.
then it's like,
Yep.
and then she's not popular anymore. After that, after she got her, if she wouldn't have got a nose job, I think she would have been like a more like mega star.
Absolutely.
She got the nose job. She's basic now. No one cared about her.
It's really crazy, but it's like I feel people are really attracted. So it's funny, but like the first thing people notice about people, okay, like when you first meet someone, is their eyes. They don't actually look at your face, okay, and this has been proven.
That's true.
They actually look straight at your eyes first, okay. So that's like, so it doesn't really matter if you've got like, I know like it's a cliche term, but if you have inner beauty, like
It'll shine.
and confidence, you can kind of, it's almost hypnotic, right? And
That's actually so true. I've met people before, and you just see their eyes, and it's like
like,
just
oh.
like so.
it's
they're like powerful.
It's the eyes.
It's
It's
like
the eyes. It's a very, very powerful thing. And like then you notice like people who don't have that much confidence, and they're looking down, they're looking
and
away.
they could have all the surgery. They could have a tiny
and-
nose, big lips, all the surgeries.
Yeah.
look so, but then they don't have the confidence in their eyes, and it's just like doesn't matter. It's like
Exactly. So it's
So
like
get that self-confidence first. Love yourself
confidence,
first.
yeah.
And then if you want to do anything after,
it's
be you.
there.
Go
It's
for it.
actually
my
there.
thing,
Yeah.
like for me, like for what I like to
Yeah.
advocate on is like be yourself. Like the way you look and how God made you that's you.
And
Like,
you know the funny thing is, like everyone's trying to fit in, right? Trying to fit
Everyone
in.
wants to look
if I'm
the
If I'm
same.
gonna be like this girl, if I'm gonna look like this girl, I'm gonna fit in. But it's so funny when you finally do fit in with those people, because you're not who you are and they're actually not your circle, you're not going to be happy. The more real you are, you start attracting your tribe.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of people who are going to uplift you and like take you to much greater heights, you know, in your life and on a much better journey. So exactly, if you be yourself, like it would do, your life will be completely different.
My favorite thing is like your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another t-shirt.
Cool.
So
yeah.
true.
That's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that answers it. And we only have time for one question. So that was it. And it was great.
That was a great question, though. I'm so happy that
and
she
it was
asked
a great
that.
answer. So both good things.
Amazing.
And
Thank you,
Jacqueline, thank you
guys.
so much for coming on. We'll put all of Jacqueline's links below, everything that she's working on. And she's incredible. You guys definitely have to check her out.
She's amazing.
One of my favorite people. So right here, my twin.
Yes.
So make sure you guys also subscribe to our podcast, OHoney. And
Find us on Spotify, iTunes, listen to us anywhere, or watch us on YouTube. So whatever
download
you
it
want.
all. Download it all.
I'm
Anywhere
gonna
you
download it.
Yes,
I'm
you better.
Yeah.
Make sure
see
it's on your
myself.
phone.
No,
You gotta start your own podcast. We'll get Jacqueline on her own podcast. Thank you guys again so much for watching. And if you want to submit any of your questions, do at diary@ohoneydiary.com.
Love you guys.
Mwah.
OHoney.
Diary LLC makes no warranty or guarantee as to the accuracy or sufficiency of the information featured in this podcast. The information and recommendations presented in this podcast are general opinions only.
This podcast should not be considered professional or expert advice. Reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own discretion.
OHoney.